If the Russians had UFO technology, I mean, they would own us right now. They used to say that. I've heard people talk about how the Nazis had it in the Second World War. If they did, they would have won. That is ridiculous. It has to be something that's out of our galaxy. Clearly, something's going on that we can't handle. I mean, UFOs were in the Bible. Read Ezekiel. It talks about the wheel flying around. So, I mean, they've been around since we've been around, and somebody needs to come up with some answers. They ought to take it serious. The American public wants to.
So special.
And whatsoever you shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. If ye love me, keep my commandments.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha Kudash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, just wanted to go into this lesson. All right, as you can see in the title, dealing with, the flood coming. Okay, and I'm gonna first start off here in the book of Luke 17, because as it says here, okay, that the times we're living in now are going to be likened onto, all right, or are likened onto the days of Noah. Okay, and when you look at the bigger picture, all right, and you look at both scenes, okay, really Noah was at the end of the old world, all right, and we are at the end of the new world. Okay, and just like the end of the old world went out through a flood, all right, this time is also going to go out through a flood. However, it's going to go out, all right, through a nuclear or a flood of fire. Okay, and what was Noah commanded to do? He was commanded to build that ark. All right, and there's a lot of similarities between now and then, which we're going to, refer back to because, well, let me read the verse. So this is the book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 26. And as it was in the days of Noah, well, here it says Noe, but we know that's talking about Noah. So shall it also, or so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. Okay, and so who is the Son of Man? Yahweh Shai. So the days of the Son of Man is referring on to the time period we're in now, in which the Lord is going to make his second return. All right, now, understanding that when you look at the course of prophecy, it's not that we have about 20 to 30 more prophecies to go. All right, there's major prophecies that have to take place before we get delivered. All right, and two of them we know, one being the charagma. All right, that's what I'm going to start referring to it as, because we all know what the other words are. And the other one being the destruction. All right, World War III. Okay, and you're going to have Jacob's trouble, which is going to be, in the midst of all of that. Okay, so we only have a few more to go. All right, we're definitely living in the days of the Son of Man, but looking up to, back as it says, as in the days of Noah, what was happening, all right before the flood, the same thing happening now, and then, like I said, I noticed the elder Yashron, but use this term. I haven't, I know other brothers use it as well, but the flood behavior, right, which is that new terminology for this wickedness, all right, that Jake is doing, their morality, all right, their whole mindset, all right. This is all flood behavior, and because it resembles what was going on before the flood, and guess what? It's happening again now, right before the flood. All right, so we have to be like who? Noah. Okay, meaning we have to keep building that ark, because what we're seeing now is the drizzling. All right, you're starting to see, and that's these prophecies. Okay, but what you see happening is not the prophecy itself in the fullness, but the prophecy is coming. Just like when you see drizzling, you know what rain is coming, or when the wind gets strong, when the clouds get dark, when that oh yeah, it's about to rain, or there's a storm coming. Okay, so our version of that are what you see going on, the chariots showing themselves more and more, You have now a U.S. congressman, all right, which, you know, you saw the video, okay, talking about, you know, these chariots being something that they can't handle, all right, as well as them being in the Bible. Now, people are going to be, oh, wow, look, they're in the Bible. I mean, but we've been saying this for years. Our elders have been saying it for even longer. And when we said it, oh, we were crazy. Oh, you guys, man. You know, but now they're telling you straight up everything we've been telling you. You know why? Because prophecy is prophecy. And we've been warning you and telling you about these prophecies, all right, for years. And guess what? As these prophecies manifest, where do you think you're going to end up? Right where we were warning you about. Okay? So you're seeing this now. They're coming out and then they're saying that these are a threat. And we told you that. Because why do they have to say it's a threat? Why does it have to be perceived that way? Because according to Revelation 12:7, there's going to be a war. All right. The angels are going to come, Yahushua leading them, and they're going to go to war with not just America, all right, but these other nations as well. The kings of the earth. All right. You can read about that in Revelation 19. Okay. And they're going to go to war, all right, with the earth. They're going to deliver the elect. All right. Lo, and we're a part of that, definitely. You know, we definitely will pray on that. Okay. And they're going to deliver the elect, and they're going to what? They're going to take down this system, destroy the beast. Okay. So, of course, the beast is going to have to, the beast definitely perceives them as a threat. Okay. And the reason is because they are a threat, and there will be a war. Okay. So, I mean, now with all these things happening, we have to keep our eyes, you know, open now more than ever. But also noticing how, you know, Noah was building that ark, and we're also building that spiritual ark, which is also likened onto building that third temple. Okay. And our ark is called the House of David. And when you read, as a matter of fact, let's go to that real quick in the book of Amos. All right. Chapter 9, verse 11. The Lord says he's going to close the breaches thereof. Okay. Just like when Noah was done building the ark, the Lord sealed it. All right. And whoever wasn't in the ark was shut out. And in this time, all right, once the house of David is done, the Lord is going to seal the breaches. And if you're not a part of that, you're out. Okay. This is the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen. All right. And that's the tabernacle of David is synonymous with the house of David, and close up the breaches thereof. All right. So nobody that's not meant to be will not be. All right. I mean, nobody if you're not meant to be in the house of David, you're not going to be here. All right. You're not going to make it through. You're not going to slip through. It says, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. Okay. And that's what's going to happen. And as a matter of fact, that's what is happening. Okay. And guess what? Everything we've been saying pursuant to the scriptures, pursuant to these prophecies are happening. And people are starting to see it, and they're starting to get afraid. But that's an exhortation for us to what? To keep building the ark, because the flood is still coming. All right. And it's going to come upon the whole earth. And guess what? We're on the earth. All right. So you have to keep building that ark. You keep building, and you keep building, and you keep building. All right. As a matter of fact, let's go to, and then you have this whole situation where, I know this brother's been doing videos on it as well. The Biden administration, basically in a nutshell, they're trying to set up a task force where, they're telling people, oh, if you know anybody, a friend or family that's quote unquote radical, you can report them. And we all know that, well, what did Yahushua say? That they would deliver you up, right? Now, here's the thing. That's very vague, right? Oh, if you know anybody that's well, what's radical? Right? Oh, this guy, he likes mushrooms on his pizza. I don't know. Whoa, that's weird. You like what? Nah, I'm reporting him. He's radical. How's he radical? He put mushrooms on his pizza. So they now need to come out and say, okay, well, because remember, it's gradualism. Okay, well, when we said radical, obviously we're not talking about that. But all right, here's an example of radical. And then they start listing quote unquote Hebrew Israelite 101. All right. But at the core of it, that's what it's going to be. Now they might, include other things, and what they do is they throw out white supremacy as a buffer, because at the core of it, it's not white supremacy. It's us that they want. But what they can do is describe everything they see us do, but they say white supremacists do it. And what they've done is they've painted an image now, okay, using white supremacy, because that way they won't get so much backlash. And then they say, well, guess what? It's not only white supremacists that do this. These BHI, these Hebrew Israelites, they do the same thing. Oh, you can consider them radical. All right. So they might not come out and say, if you see a Hebrew Israelite, then report them. But they'll describe everything without saying the name. All right. Oh yeah, they don't. Their beliefs are different. They're very hate filled and different than the conventional beliefs of everybody else. Mostly religious. They claim to be telling a true interpretation of the Bible. They claim to be superior to others. They claim this. They claim that. They don't like this. And next thing you know, whoever they're telling, even though they're not saying the words, they're not saying Israelites, whoever they're describing this to is thinking of what? Israelites. They're saying, yeah, that sounds like, I see them all the time in the street corners yelling at people and stuff like that. Those guys are crazy. Those guys are radical. Let me report them. So next thing you know, you're at camp and then cops pull up on your ass. Or you just see some Edomite in the corner, looking all hurt, red-faced, peachy, pissed off, looking all hurt and shit, on their phone. And they keep looking back at you every 2 seconds. They got their arm, I know how they do. One arm crossed under their, under their other arm, then their legs crossed and they standing there just looking at you. Then they turn around and they talk on the phone and they turn around. The next thing you know, woo, cops pull up on your ass, trying to ask you questions, quote unquote. Let's take you in, investigate you a bit. What you mean investigate me? You got profiles anyway. So that's also a part of it, because the Lord did talk about that persecution. All right, 2 Ezra 16 talks about the great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So these things are all what? Pre-flood. These are the drizzlings. These are the storms, the winds that are coming, that is letting you know what? The flood is coming. And as we see these things coming, because when that does happen, what do you think is coming right after? The famine of the word. Okay, see, when the flood came in Noah's time, there was a famine of the word, because Noah was what? A preacher of righteousness. As it says it here, 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 5. It says here, actually, I'm going to start at verse 4. It says, for if the Most High spared not the angels that sinned. All right, we know that's talking about the elect. Okay, that's talking about, the angels here are not referring on to the, like Archangel Michael, for an example. All right, but really the elect. All right, because when you go into the book of Jude, it tells you the same thing, how they were put into chains of darkness, and that's these fleshly bodies. Okay, it says, but cast them down to hell doesn't mean the fiery pits, all right, Dante's Inferno, but it's talking about this condition, this low condition that we're in. Okay, it says, and delivered them into chains of darkness, which are these bodies, to be reserved unto judgment. All right. Verse, and when the day of judgment comes, some will get freed from these bodies, and others will also get freed from these bodies, but it'll be two different ways. Some will get a new body, all right, the chains will be taken off, and others, the chains will be taken off slowly and painfully as they die. All right, so verse 5 says, and spared not the old world, okay, the old world, and that was what? Pre-flood, okay, but saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness. So Noah was preaching righteousness. Okay, now what's a preacher? Let's look up the word here and see what they give us for preacher. All right, it says K Rooks. It says a herald. Hold up, wait, hold on 1 second. Bring it back. A herald or messenger. Now, are we not heralds? Okay. A herald is basically a prophet. All right, it says a herald or messenger vested with public authority who conveyed the official messages of kings, magistrates, princes, military commanders, or who gave public summons or demand and performed various other duties. in New Testament, the Most High's ambassador and the herald or proclaimer of the divine word. Okay? So Noah was an herald, meaning he was prophesying. He was warning them, telling them what the message of the ultimate king, which is Yahweh, all right, Bahashem Yahushua was. And that was that there was a flood coming. Okay? And it says, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly. So why was he warning them of that? Because there was all that flood behavior, the wickedness, the reason the Lord was going to bring the flood. And he was warning them about it and telling them, hey, there's a flood coming. But what else was he doing? He was also building the ark. And that's what we're doing now. We're warning people of all this flood behavior that's going on now. We're warning them that there's a flood that's soon to follow. Because you're calling it with your behavior. But what are we also doing? We're building the ark. Because it's one thing to warn you, but hey, guess what? I'm still on the same earth. So I'm going to warn you, but I need to also, I got to do what I got to do. See what I mean? All right. So it says, a preacher of righteousness bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly. All right. And that's what we see going on today. All right. So we have to keep on building that ark because the flood is coming. All right. Trust me. You do not want to get caught up out there. All right. Arkless. Okay. And like I said, it's not literal. I'm not saying go get a hammer and some nails, some wood, start trying to, no. All right. But it's what? Doing the work of the Lord. And as a matter of fact, let's go here to the book of John. All right. Chapter 9, verse 4. It says, I must work the works of him that sent me. While it is day, the night cometh when no man can work. See, so, relating that to this, well, the work we're doing when you prophesy, all right, you teach and you do the works of the Lord, guess what? You are building the ark. You're contributing to the building of the ark. And the elect will finish the ark. And they're going to be the only ones that can get on. Okay. See, you got to think of it like this, right? If we're all building the ark and we're all building and we're all building and we're all building, but you have certain individuals that they'll put a piece here and then they'll go and do whatever they want to do, partake, join in the rest of the world, and then come back maybe a couple of months later to see what's the progress we're making. And then maybe they'll try to add a little piece here and then they'll say, okay, so they want to do as least work as possible. And by the time they come, well, we're almost done, so they can just join on, right? Now you have those that are every day, they're constantly there, right? And so those that are doing that can track and measure how close the progress is. Now, here's the thing. You may say, okay, well, they're almost done. I'll be back in about 2 weeks. But guess what? What if we finish in a week? And you know what happens when you finish? You get in the ark right away. So if we finish in a week and we all get in the ark and the ark gets sealed, you're expecting us to be done in 2 weeks. You're going to come back and check in 2 weeks. Guess what? You come back, right? Or you may go a week and one day. Oh shit, it's drizzling. Let me run back to the ark. Guess what? The ark is closed. You know why? Because those that were there at the finishing of the ark are those that get to get on. AKA, he that endures unto the end, the same shall be saved. If you continuously build until the ark is complete, you're going to be one of the first ones to get on there because you were there when it was complete. So if you endure unto the end, you don't go back into the world, you don't take breaks, all right, but you're constantly doing this work, constantly building the ark along with the rest of the body of the Lord. The second the ark is complete, you jump on that ark, all right, and that flood comes. But these people, I'm taking breaks, I'm doing this. Guess what? You're going to miss it, man. You ain't gonna be allowed on that ark. You're gonna be knocking. I was building with you. Wait, hold up. Remember the piece I put? Nah, we don't remember no piece, man. Tell that to the flood. All right, so let's see. Moving on. Going actually back to Luke 17. All right, in 26 it says, and as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives. They were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark and the flood came and destroyed them all. So what was this likened on to? Peace and safety, right? They were doing all this wickedness, but they had no sense of urgency. They were in a sense of peace and safety. While Noah was what? He was building. And you know what? He was looking and measuring. Okay, all right, how far am I? Okay, all right, hey, I don't have much. I gotta finish this arc as best as I can, you know? And so guess what? It's the same here. We're looking in the world, we're seeing what's going on, but we're seeing the spiritual signs, but these people are not seeing it. So they're still lackadaisical, you know? They're still chilling. They're in that peace and safety, and they love it. Oh, yes, they love it. Okay? They love it. But let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. It's 12. There we go. All right, this is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse 16. It says, "For thy power is the beginning of righteousness, and because thou art the Lord of all, it maketh thee to be gracious unto all." Verse 17, "For when men will not believe that thou art of a full power, thou showest thy strength, and among them that know it, thou makest their boldness manifest." All right. So guess what? As we've been warning you of these things, people didn't believe that. We told them of the Lord. We told them the name. We told them to repent. We told them the prophecies. We told them all that, but they didn't believe it. So in essence, they didn't believe the Lord was of a full power. And guess what? Now the Lord is slowly but surely, he's showing them. And you know what's going to happen? It's going to be suddenly. All right. The little signs, okay, here, we can spot them. But when the big one comes, it's going to hit people suddenly. All right. And that's how the Lord is going to show his strength, because what did he do to Pharaoh? Okay. It says, "And among them that know it, thou makest their boldness manifest." Because for us, it's not going to be, oh, shoot, what's going on? It's going to be like we knew it, and we're excited to see it happening. Okay. I mean, you gotta really look at it, man. Look at where we are in prophecy. All right. They're talking about this new system, this, and you got Biden and all of them and these European allies. See, Trump was more like a friction kind of dude, right? And they've made Biden like a glue, right? To try and glue them into that one, so that they can fully push out this system, this NWO, okay? And they can move quick on that. So you can see in that aspect, you got the charagma, all right, very soon about to be unveiled as it's gonna be a united thing. It's gonna be a united thing. That's why they're getting so close. Oh yeah, we're the U.S. is back, and our allies and this, because guess what? The U.S. and its allies are gonna unveil that charagma. Okay, and since the U.S. and its allies run pretty much a lot of the things that go on, all right, every other nations are gonna follow suit. But as you see that happening, you also see the other side of prophecy. Dealing with these chariots, all right, dealing with the supernatural, dealing with the persecution, dealing with the inflation prices, 2nd Esdras 15, dealing with the upcoming famines, the pestilence. All these things are happening, just as Yahushua said. So we know, all right, where we are. All right, we know that the flood is coming, and the more and more, all right, the more and more time goes by, and the more and more the drizzles get heavier and the wind gets stronger, we know what that man is coming. All right, so keep building that ark. All right, you keep doing what whatever you can, and pick up the pace too. But continue to do what you're doing. All right, if you're doing the right thing, and if you're not, you better repent and get right. Okay, before you get left. All right, so with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying unto the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha Kudash. Until next time, Shalom.